Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark, and welcome back to the News Hour. This is for August 24th, 2026. Can't believe we're almost done August, which means the big video games are right around the corner, and I can't wait. Like Control Resident, Wolverine, the new Castlevania game, GTA, Ocarina of Time. Bunch of stuff coming out, probably leaving a bunch of other ones out as well, but it's getting to that time of year, and I can't wait for it. And we as it gets closer to the new releases coming out, I'll pick my game that I'm streaming, of the new games out there for you guys. But I can't believe it. It's gotten here so quickly. We have in like 3 weeks. I have Extra Life announcements. Like I said, we're probably going to do the same thing as last year in terms of every Saturday. We'll be doing a, we'll be doing a stream every Saturday. We'll do the big one on Extra Life Day. And then we'll do others throughout the week. They'll probably be themed, so you'll know what you're getting with it. And hello, Metal Militia. Welcome to the chat. For those of you watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, you can come enjoy this live over on Twitch at twitch.tv/GameBallPod, 9 p.m. Eastern. I go live around there, maybe a couple minutes late sometimes, but we're usually right on time with it, so... don't get worried if you don't see me right at 9. But so without further ado, let me just do the house cleaning thing up front. If you want to discuss video games with us, we're all over at the they call this a movie Patreon and Discord. So you can go to patreon.com/TCTAMpod. For just $1, join the Discord and talk to us about video games, movies, music, whatever you want. It's all there for you. Like I said, it's just $1 a month. And you get to choose what movies we watch for, they call this a movie, once a month. And you also get to join in our weekly question. And hopefully as things start coming out and maybe, I might have a question this week based on our first story. That you guys can answer on the video game side, because I'm really interested in your opinion on that. Without it's just on there with without much hassle. It's pretty good. So just go over there once again. You can join at patreon.com/TCTAMpod, as in they called this a movie. We hope to see you there. So moving on to what I've been playing. A little weird week for me. I didn't get much done outside of streaming except playing a lot of college football because I had to settle my nerves and anxiety with some, life stuff that maybe I'll explain at some point in the next month or so to everyone. I don't want to jinx it now, so I don't want to bring it up. But, so... we're playing through college football. I played some FIFA because it was opening day for the, or I should say FC, because it was opening day for the English Premier League. So I got a few games of that in. That game's still good. I can't wait to see what they do with 27. They're adding a lot of presentation stuff, which I feel is the only thing that game needs. Everything else seems pretty solid. There's the bugs and stuff, but that's just every sports game. So I'm excited to see what they do to add to the ambiance of the game. In terms of college football, I just won my first national championship with NC State. Go Wolfpack. And we, I'm probably going to bump the level up at this point. I had a goal from the athletic director to win a national championship, and I was like, you know what? I'll keep it on the slightly less level. Still some hard games. Almost lost a couple. But, they weren't as challenging. Hey, Night Duck. But I'm going to, bump it up and see what happens for next season in there. So, still having fun with that game. you know, people have said it's gotten worse. I haven't really noticed that, but some people play it a little more consistently and a little more realistic than I do. So um, that goes without saying. The only game I played outside of stream that is worthy of talking about. I downloaded the demo for Trails in the Sky second chapter, the remake, version for Switch 2. And I played through the first little bit of that until you meet Father Kevin. And then I saved. I'm probably going to play through the whole demo. As I said when I finished second chapter, I love second chapter better than first chapter. I think it gets going a lot quicker. Obviously, it's just a continuation, so it's like the middle part of a game, despite being like 60 hours long. And I'm excited to see, because now I'll get a lot of voices early. It won't just be Joshua and Estelle for most of the early part of the game. We'll get to meet a lot of our people early. Father Kevin kind of sounded like the way I thought he would in the game, so it was fun. But I love the new updates to the attack system. The more both turn-based and action parts of it work really well. But I might just be biased because I've enjoyed those two games. But so far so good on second chapter. There, voice acting is still great, and Estelle is still best girl. So yeah, we played through a little bit of that. All right, and on to what I streamed. On Monday, we restarted Harvest Moon, just because I didn't know exactly how to plant. I was planting like you do in Stardew Valley, where you go to each square and put a seed in. While in, which we found out there's an issue with this as well. With this, you have to stand in the center, hit the button, and then it spreads out in 8 directions. I think it makes like an S, like a 3x3, 3x3 cube. But you can't have the middle one, which we found out, because you can't water the middle one while the other ones are starting to grow. So it adds a little weird thing to it, which was fine. We can push through that early on. But yeah, restarting it, just had to do that. I like it so far. I think the thing, unless if there is something I'm missing, the thing I liked a lot better with a game, obviously, Stardew Valley has sort of the other things you can do in terms of going into the dungeon and doing all that. Maybe there is something and I didn't get to it yet, but so far it's just watering, and then I don't know what else to do. I go and talk to everyone and they say dumb stuff and don't really seem like I'm advancing relationships or anything. But again, it's 1996, so maybe it's a little obtuse, but so far I am liking it. Obviously I love Stardew Valley, so a game that it's obviously based off of would also attract me as well. So we'll be back at that tonight. As I said, Night Duck made the suggestion for Harvest Moon is that we just play through 1 year, see all 4 seasons, see all 4 festivals, and just do that, and then move on to the next game on the list. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and getting on, with that list. But I mean, if it didn't take way too long to beat Stardew Valley, if there isn't even a beat, I could see myself keep playing it. But we do have to continue with the list, and games that are longer than 8 to 10 hours, I'm kind of, just doing one and outs or like a special occasion like this. And then on Saturday, I got back into Fantasian Neo Dimension. We played about an hour and a half. We forward the next thing where we got money to get our fortune told, which I guess is going to... I guess we're kind of almost out of the tutorial part. Kind of where how JRPGs have tutorials. So I still enjoy the combat. I love the words on the screen, storytelling, sort of like a storybook. I keep bringing it up. They do it in Lost Odyssey. I loved it in Lost Odyssey. I think it's a really good way to, especially since I believe this was a phone game or some kind of mobile game. So not having cutscenes and using this as a cutscene. They do a really good job in the writing to sort of, if use your imagination, you can see the cutscene as it's being played out. They give you nice descriptions and sort of give you the facial animations of the characters, so you can kind of, in the theater of your mind, you can sort of play out the scene. And I love this new thing that we just learned, where you can walk around and sort of, if you fought an enemy before and you get an encounter with them, you can suck them into a device, and then you can fight them later. Right now, the device can get up to 30. I have been cutting it off between 11 and 15, and then fighting them. That seemed to be a good number to where it's not too hard in there. We've been gathering a lot of keys for chest, and because I've been getting a lot of those monsters that have keys. So yeah, I really like that system, because it allows you to, if you want to keep the momentum going, and you can sort of get through an area. If you want to even stretch it, you can go from save point to save point unless if you overflow, and just fight it, save, and then fight at the save point and see if you can get through it. And then you can keep resaving, reloading at that point and try again, because it's kind of a puzzle, fight with the way you can move magic or hit multiple enemies. And I just love the combat so far, and I love this little mechanic here. Visual novel segments. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, so it's doing such a good job with it, and I can't wait to play it more. Literally last night, the reason I ended was like I got to a point and like I started just a long day, and I just started getting those heavy eyes, and I'm just like, if there's going to be cutscenes where things are being read to me, I feel a need that I could possibly just doze off during this stream, and not because it was boring. I was just like, I need to be doing something. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to call it. I've seen enough. I've had a good time. Maybe we'll start earlier next week at like 8 or something. And get a couple hours in. Maybe more than an hour and a half. But an hour and a half is a good amount of time with that game. And we'll probably get into dungeons where I'll have to stay later than an hour and a half, like we did with Trails. So we'll get there. Yeah, it was all me. It was not the game. I was really into the game, and the game was really good. I just felt those heavy eyes, and I'm just like, this is not going to be good if I keep pushing through. So, and I didn't want to, it was like 10:30 at night, and I didn't want to go grab like soda or something, or some kind of caffeine drink to stay awake. So we just called it. But I love the game. So we'll be, definitely, I can't wait to play more of it next week. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I played. Like I said, I really want to get back to Mina. I keep saying it, but I keep running either out of time, or I just like, I'm too anxious and just want to do something that I can shut my brain off and play, and I end up playing the sports games to do that. Assassin's Creed will probably be for when I'm bored. But I'm great having remastered or resynced, because it looks so much better than AC4 did on my PS5. So I am not upset about having that. But we'll definitely get back to some Mina by the end of the year for sure. Because it's definitely going to be in my Game of the Year conversation. Yeah. So that will do it for what I've been playing. Let me just make sure, yep, everything is loaded up. Let's head over to the news and our first story. No surprise. GTA 6 gameplay allegedly leaks ahead of planned Netflix reveal. This was confirmed a little bit later. This story's from last Tuesday. With the way they were pulling it down, it's pretty much confirmed it was video. The footage, which VGC is not able to share but is being widely circulated on social media, appears to show gameplay of the much anticipated Rockstar sequel a week before its planned Netflix reveal, which is on Tuesday, by the way. Or is it Monday? Maybe it'll say it on here. I think it's either Monday. I think it's the 27th, which I think is, maybe that's a Thursday. Either way, it's coming this week. And one of the videos shows Jason, one of GTA 6 2 protagonists, playing a basketball minigame at the house featured in the game's reveal trailer. Notably, the footage shows Jason increasing a focus stat for successfully landing a shot, suggesting the game could feature RPG-style mechanics. Second video allegedly shows GTA 6 gameplay featuring a driving scene in which Jason crashes into a delivery vehicle before engaging in a fistfight. If authentic, the footage appears to confirm that vehicles will require gas to drive. CyberLeak, the group claiming responsibility for the alleged videos, said it had targeted Rockstar's parent Take-Two in protest of its decision to sell digital pre-orders of GTA 6 and not offering a physical version. The group also published what it claims to be the game's map for GTA 6. At time of publication, there is suggestion that some of the alleged GTA 6 videos have been pulled down following copyright strikes. VGC has asked Rockstar for comment. If authentic, the media will represent at least the third time GTA 6 has been shown ahead of a planned release via leaked footage. In September 2022, one of the game industry's most high-profile data leaks saw over an hour of GTA 6 development footage published online. Then in December 2023, the game's debut trailer leaked online ahead of a planned official release. So an extended look at GTA 6 is premiering on Netflix later this month. Grand Theft Auto 6 extended look premieres on Netflix on August 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern. It will also launch on Rockstar Games' YouTube channel website about 6 hours later, so you can watch it at 9 p.m. if you do not have Netflix. Neither Rockstar nor Netflix has shared more information on how long the presentation will last. So yeah. There's I come of two minds with leaks. I think they absolutely do suck in the sense that, especially if you know, like in certain cases, shitty things I don't really care about from shitty publishers. I mean, this is like sort of. Ooh, I forgot that my camera looks real weird. I'll fix that for those of you watching live. But for some companies, it's like I don't care if it like affects your sales or anything because you're EA or you're something like that, and even Take-Two and Rockstar and great companies. But the thing with this specific leak that bothers me a little bit is what 2K and Take-Two did. Is to stop, since the other leaks came, they decided to bring everyone back to the office and didn't allow any remote work, to stop the leaks, from coming out, and they made really tough working conditions for them to make sure the leaks didn't happen. And now, all that hard work and sacrifice and stuff, and really bad time is all for naught because a leak still happened. And I'm a little bit, I'm like, come on, man, you're going to see it in a week. This isn't like, leaking something that's unannounced or something like that. This is just, and we have had discussions on here about physical versus digital media. And I think that times when things have been hacked or leaked, and like if they would have said this is because of layoffs or the way they've been treating employees or something a little more noble than that, I've been sure, fuck them, just put out the footage. Yeah, this is because they laid off all these people even though there's a union, and we are right behind them. But saying you're leaking it because they're not putting a physical version out at launch I it's not going to make them do a physical version, and they're not going to lose any money because of this. It's pointless to, like, you're not. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming at it from a wrong way, but it's just. I just see the leaking and the hacking and all that coming from something that's not really going to matter in terms of hurting 2K and Rockstar. Now, it may hurt employees or whoever's computer you hacked it off of. You might get them in trouble. It just it feels like that their goal wasn't a noble one. Like, if they wanted to hack Microsoft because of Gaza, sure. Because they're helping the IDF or whatever. Noble cause. Fuck them, essentially. But if you're just whining because they're not putting a physical media out at launch, and that's your reason, I don't think that's enough of a reason to do it. Like, they're not going to go, oh no, they leaked the video. We're going to do physical versions now. Don't leak no more. No, they're not going to do that because they got all the pre-orders. They're going to make all the money in the world. It's not going to matter. There's not enough people when you look at the digital sales charts that are going to not buy GTA 6 to Take-Two at all for this specific reason. Now, if you could rally a bunch of people behind something really shitty, maybe you could put a dent in them to, boycott. Microsoft Game Pass stuff is a great example. The BDS boycott that a lot of people follow, hurt Microsoft sales on Game Pass, and they lost millions and millions of dollars because of it. Noble cause to do that. And, we've mentioned it on here a lot and all that. I just got upset with this when I heard the reasoning behind the leak. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't get it. I don't, and then, switching off that subject, it showed the gas thing, and then that started a whole controversy. Like, you're going to have to get gas in this. It's like, how long, just to be honest, when you're playing GTA, how long do you actually ride the same car long enough to use all of its gas? Be honest. Now, would it be, I'm guessing when you carjack somebody, you'll get whatever gas they have left, sure. But it's not going to affect gameplay enough to really be. And then and I'm sure maybe nobody knows this. Maybe Rockstar will put in an option where you can turn off whether you need gas or not in the cars. It's an easy thing to just turn off. Yeah. It's just, it led to two stupid controversies this week, and the footage was like, okay, it's GTA 6. I will see it next week in full. But anyway, that was my little rant there. I was more upset about the leak in terms of that the cause wasn't more noble for hacking into the system. It benefits nobody doing this. Because it doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt Take-Two because they didn't reveal anything that shows the game being shitty, like poor graphics or bad frame rate or anything like that. Most people have pre-ordered digital anyway. So, and 85 or it was like 75 or 85% of people buy digital anyway. So, who are you, picking up the mantle for here? And yeah, it's just sometimes people just want to be shitty for shitty reasons, and sometimes it sucks, but yeah. And speaking of 2K's response to this, or Take-Two, Take-Two files subpoenas asking Microsoft and Discord for records in hunt for GTA leaker. GTA 6 clips started appearing online several days ago ahead of a planned Netflix reveal, and now Take-Two is using the law to track down and stop the individual. The company has filed a number of subpoenas in federal district court, petitioning Microsoft and Discord for the release records related to the online accounts posting and sharing leaks of the game. The copyright material includes, but is not limited to, audiovisual content, artwork, images, dialogue, and other creative elements, reads a subpoena filed with the Southern District Court of New York on August 20th, as reported by Kotaku. Take-Two, through its Council of Record, has submitted a sworn declaration confirming that the purpose for which the DMCA subpoena is sought is to obtain the identity of an alleged infringer or infringers, and that such information will only be used for purpose of protecting Take-Two's rights. The petition asks for user data needed to identify the individual, including all internal Microsoft business records and investigative records associated with Microsoft's internal investigation of the cyber leak persona, sufficient to identify the user, person, or entities associated with that persona. Information is equally being demanded of Discord, asking it to provide all identifying information associated with all user accounts that were members communicating with the Discord server listed below during the time period from June 1st, 2026 to present. And for those accounts, provide any associate device telemetry record where one or more of the tool fire artifacts below were present in the system. Yeah, so this is what I mean. Like, if you're going to do this, do it for a noble reason. Because getting arrested, as may happen here, for leaking this information, or getting heavily fined or sued or whatever, for something, like, what happens if you, like, do all this, right? And, 3 months after release or 4 months after release, they put it out physically, and now you're in jail or you've paid all this fine for something that was going to happen anyway, which they said may happen anyway. I'm still stuck on the reasoning behind this hacking and, taking the risk that you may face legal trouble for it. I just don't see it being worth it. And I love physical media, but like, it's like, come on, man, seriously, But anyway, that's my rant. Again, I am perfectly I am comfortable in my skin that if you let me know that I am wrong and no Mark, fuck corporations no matter what, then sure. I'm sure that would be Anthony's response to this, but I just don't see the reasoning behind causing the turmoil, for something that probably wasn't going to really affect anything anyway. So, anyway, moving on to our next story. As Switch 2 prices are set to increase next month, VGC is a British thing, so I'm just hoping the New York, the US prices are in here. Nintendo confirmed the new UK prices. The company confirmed back in May that it was raising prices of Nintendo Switch consoles in the United States, Canada, Europe, and Japan, but only gave a selection of new prices. It's only like $63 in Japan or 10,000 yen. Other regions will see increases starting September 1st, with Nintendo previously confirming the Switch 2 hardware to increase from $449.99 to $499.99, increase of $50. Similarly, in Canada, the price will increase for $50 from $629 Canadian dollars to $679 Canadian dollars, while the price in Europe will be €30, $469 to $499. Now, in a statement posted to the official X account for the Nintendo Store UK, Nintendo has confirmed the price of the UK Switch will increase by £20, so from $395 to $419. While announcing its increases in May, Nintendo said, in light of the changes in market conditions, and after considering the global business outlook, Nintendo will revise the manufacturer's suggested retail price of Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems. We sincerely apologize for the impact these price revisions may have on our customers and other stakeholders, and we deeply appreciate your understanding. So, yeah. 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 I mean, I agree with that final statement. I'll read you here. Um, you know, Night Duck says, but what Rockstar is trying to do is really scary because they're trying to weaponize the corporations behind the surveillance state to extrajudicially punish random civilians. Yeah, and that's 100% true. What they're doing is even scarier. Yeah, like I said, the dumb kids having fun thing is just, I don't know. It's like, where a company like Rockstar Take-Two would take this, especially with the way they reacted to the other two leaks. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. I am not happy with how Rockstar Take-Two is doing it, doing that. I just think it'll end up being a dumb reason to go to jail, or in another word, set this precedent that Rockstar may set with this. That's all I'm saying. Is that this whole domino effect from leaking this footage, I don't see the worthiness of it to do it for a company like Rockstar or Take-Two. And now if Rockstar Take-Two successfully get Microsoft and Discord to get the thing, now every company's going to do it from here on out. And you gained nothing because, doing this really wasn't worth it, and you now made the world scarier for legitimate hacker groups and people trying to do good in the world with hacking and leaking and stuff like that. So anyway, that's just my thing with it, but I do 100% agree with that statement above me there. Next up, Double Fine announces fans will be able to vote for its next game following Xbox split. Double Fine is bringing back its Game Jam initiative and letting fans pick the next game project following the studio split from Xbox last month. Amnesia Fortnite 2026 will launch on August 31st and feature a documentary and Kickstarter campaign, Double Fine announced on Friday. We're going to do a game jam live on the internet in which our backers will get to choose which of our myriad of ideas gets made into 4 new prototypes, and which of those final 4 will become a real small game, the studio said. Amnesia Fortnite is a game jam Double Fine traditionally held every few years, but which went on hiatus following its sale to Microsoft in 2019. The 2-week event sees the studio's developers create game prototypes with their development documented online, and fans eventually voting on which ones they'd like to see made into full games. Previously, Amnesia Fortnite prototypes led to games such as Costume Quest, Space Base DF9, and Headlander. Others inspired parts of games such as Compton's Cookout and Psychonauts 2. Alongside South of Midnight creator Compulsion, Double Fine was allowed to return to independence by its former owner Microsoft, with both companies retaining their IPs and game catalogs and receiving investment to get them started. So, and then he did this interview with Kind of Funny, which if you want to go watch it, is a very good interview there. So, I like this idea because Double Fine has always been on the forefront of, when they are independent, trying to make the fans involved. I think Psychonauts 2 was on Fig when it was first announced, and just things like that. I think it's a really fun idea. It's a way to keep their name, in in the news, and gives fans a real way of word of mouth spreading stuff and a real decision in what does come out. I really like this idea for them specifically. I think this only works for Double Fine, because of the type of company it is. But I'm fun. I'm excited to see what games you'll be allowed to vote on in the Kickstarter live stream thing. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know if it lists that in here. I know it said it's going to take place on the 31st, but I guess midnight on the 31st, I assume. Yeah, so just be on the lookout for that. Speaking of the other company, Compulsion Games, we would rather eat rocks and drink gasoline than be split up. Compulsion Games has completed its buyout from Microsoft. Last month, Xbox announced plans to cut thousands of jobs as part of what the CEO Asher Sharma calls the most significant restructure in Xbox history. Compulsion, which was acquired by Xbox in 2018, was one of the studios affected by this major reset, but rather than being shut down entirely, the studio instead successfully negotiated a deal to leave Xbox and return to being an independent developer. The deal would enable the studio to retain the rights to its previous IPs, contrast We Happy Few and South of Midnight, something that has now officially taken place. Speaking to GamesBeat, Compulsion CEO Provost, I know how to say that name, but I'm blanking. Guillaume? It's like Guillermo, but the French pronunciation. Anyway, said the deal was completed on August 11th, stating, "I can confirm we have regained ownership of our IP and that the publishing rights are transferring back to Compulsion. It's just that there's a transition period where that happens with different platform holders. Buying the games is supporting the studio as a result of that change." Provost also added that the decision to become independent again was made after discussing the situation with the team, who wanted to stay together instead of shutting down the studio and looking for work elsewhere. "I did this deal for the team first and foremost," he said. "I asked the team, do you want to stay together? The team told me they would rather eat rocks and drink gasoline than be split up." So, good to see that Compulsion is being able to stay together with their IP. As much as We Happy Few wasn't exactly what I wanted there, their other two games were games that I really, really enjoyed. Contrast was a game I played with my sister just out of nowhere with her and my nieces. And we had a good time with it. And South of Midnight was good from what I played. It'd be interesting to get back to that. Moving on. Our next story here. In the No Shit Sherlock news of the week, launching PS6 and Xbox Helix at $1,000 could lead to a nearly 40% drop in sales over 5 years, analyst warns. That's according to Ampere Analysis, which has produced a new report suggesting that if Sony and Microsoft decide to launch conventionally designed, incrementally improved next-generation consoles in 2028 at a price of $1,000, the rate at which players will buy those consoles will drop considerably compared to this generation. Specifically, a scenario forecast suggests that the combined number of PS6 and Xbox Helix consoles sold after the first 5 years could be up to 38% lower than the combined sales of PS5 and Xbox Series XS over the same period. This would lead to a major impact on consumer spending, with Ampere estimating that by 2031, the console games and services market across PlayStation and Xbox would be $3.4 billion, 12% lower than if the consoles were sold for $700. The price of PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo hardware has been rising in recent times due to a combination of the continued global component shortage and trade wars. Given these recent price increases, means the PlayStation Pro is now up to from $700 launch price to $900. Some analysts say there's a real possibility that $1,000 may be the base level for next-gen systems. And then they go on to strategic ways to avoid that. But yeah, if that'll be not the death knell, but that will be a really big blow to the home console market if they go for $1,000. It'll really become a rich person's industry at that point, and that's where we're heading. Like, it's not like this is new information or you're shocked out of nowhere, but it'll come down to, will Nintendo stay in like the $500 to $600 range, and everybody will sort of float back to Nintendo to just play something if their systems can, handle all the new games out there. Be a great boon for Nintendo. But yeah, it's just the the home console market is going to look way different in 2 years. Hopefully, things calm down with the AI stuff and component prices come down a little bit. They're not going to come down enough. Like they said, they need to stay between the $600 to $800 range for the systems if they want to stick with the same, profits that they've seen recently. And I don't know if they can do that with what they want to do with these systems. So, we'll see. We'll see if they have a Project Helix, but then also like a streaming thing you can tap into for a monthly fee on top of Game Pass to play games and stuff like that. We'll see how they change the models, but going $1,000 or more is just gonna kill. Like, nobody's talking about the Steam machine for mainly that reason. So, but anyway, we'll see. For $2,000, it's over the dust. Exactly. It'll open up Nintendo and PC for these gamers. And finally, speaking of crazy prices, the price and release date for the green X25 limited edition Xbox Series X and controller have been leaked. Deal Labs writer Bill Bacune, who has been accurately leaking hardware and software information for a number of years now, has reported the release and date price for the console in Europe. We'll skip down to the... according to this insider information, the console is set to be released on Friday, November 27th, which is also Black Friday. The price, which includes a 1 terabyte console with disk drive and a limited edition green 25th edition anniversary controller, will reportedly be €899, which Bill Bacune estimates will equate to $899 in the US. And the controller itself will be a separate price for $79.99. So if you're interested in getting the special 25th anniversary Xbox for some reason, it'll be about $900, and the controller will be about $80. So have at it if you have the money. God bless you. I'm here trying to stop myself from buying the special edition Zelda thing if it comes out, and that's $500. So God help you if you want to do this. Yeah, so that'll do it for the podcast. Well, we almost made it to an hour. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. We'll be back tonight with some more Harvest Moon. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the audio podcast. And then we'll be back on Friday with Final Fantasy X, and then Saturday with Fantasian, and then Sunday with the News Hour here. So, should be a fun time. Yeah, and like I said, if you want to chat video games or talk movies, music, books, anything, wrestling, go to the patreon.com/TCTAMPod. That's TCTAM pod. That's They Call This a Movie, our brother podcast that focuses mainly on movies. They have a Discord, which for $1 a month through the Patreon, you can talk to us about just about anything. So I'll be putting up a question of the week there tomorrow in reference to what we talked about tonight. And then, we can discuss it over there. So thank you all for being here. It has been fun as always. And, yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye!